Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica and today I'll be doing the if I had $1,000 to spend at Sephora tag. I don't know if it's a tag or if it's just a video idea, but I originally saw Sarah Rose do this and then she said that she got the inspiration from Emily Noel, so I'm just going to credit both of them. It was actually a struggle for me to reach this amount. Normally I'd be hovering around $800. Like every time I just do this for fun, just to see how much all the things I would want would cost. So I would only get to $800. So I've added a couple more items to my basket to make it $1,000. Well, now it's over, but yeah, I'm gonna get started. First item I put into my basket is the Urban Decay Naked Honey eyeshadow palette. And I've wanted this for a while, for at least a year. I've realized as I get older that I do prefer neutrals over like colorful eyeshadow looks. I don't know what it is, but if I don't tell myself like, hey, you should do like a yellow eyeshadow today, even though I love yellow eyeshadow, I'll normally just reach for a neutral color. So I feel like this palette would fit in perfectly. Plus it has some shades I don't even have in my collection, so it works out. The way I like to pick eyeshadows is I look at the colors, and if there's a couple of colors that I know I don't like or I won't wear, then I won't get it. Even if it's just like, two eyeshadows that I won't wear, if I won't wear those two, I'm not going to get the palette because I feel like two eyeshadows in most palettes, that's like usually an eighth or so of the palette, and that's just money wasted, so I figure that it's not worth getting. So yeah, there's a lot of colors I don't like either, so that makes it harder for me to find palettes that I love, but easier on my wallet, if that makes sense. Okay, next is the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded Eyeshadow Palette. I missed out on the sale for this when it was half off, and I kind of regretted it a little. I was comparing this to Sultry, but because the Naked Reloaded is more of a warmer toned neutrals palette, if you could really call it neutrals, it kind of looks, it kind of doesn't look neutral, but it is. Yeah, I prefer warmer shades over cooler shades just because my skin tone is warmer. I supposedly have yellow undertones. It's weird, my body is definitely yellow, but I feel like my face is more pink, so it's weird, but yeah. I also do appreciate how they come with two like bigger sizes, like a bigger size and then the biggest size pan on both sides of the palette, because those are colors you would use more. Yeah, these are shades that I would use too, and there's some shades in here that I never tried before and I would like to try, so that's why I put this in this basket. Also, people were saying that the formula is like subpar and stuff like that, but I've used some really low quality eyeshadow before, and I feel like I want to give Urban Decay a try, even though people say that it's like not the best in the world, but obviously it's not going to be the best in the world compared to some other eyeshadows, but it can't be too terrible, right? Like, the worst palette I've ever used is from Lorac, and I don't think anything could be worse than that. I've also heard good reviews, so I'm really torn on this, but I would like to decide for myself. The next item that I would get is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Moisturizer Broad Spectrum SPF 30, and I chose the shade Ginger 06, and I know I don't wear foundation, so if you don't know me, the main reason why I don't wear foundation is because I get tan very quickly, and I also get pale very quickly. So if you think of like an Arctic fox or rabbit, that's me. I turn brown in the summer and white in the winter. So it makes it very expensive to keep up with like different foundations. So my decision was to just not wear foundations because it was more affordable this way. So That's why I stopped wearing foundation. I've been foundation free for about 2 years now. Has it been 2 years? Sorry. Foundation free for about a year now. And I mean, no one can really tell. I feel like my skin, because I don't have rosacea, and yeah, mainly because I don't have rosacea, I feel like I can actually get away with not wearing foundation. And now that I'm older than before, I'm getting less and less pimples, despite the fact that I'm not exactly eating healthier. So yeah. Anyway, I would like to try this out mostly because there's SPF in it, and I don't wear sunscreen because I don't get sunburnt on my face. I should be wearing sunscreen, so that's why I like to get this. And also because I've heard things that it's like actually good for your skin. It's almost like skincare, so I'm really interested in that, so that's why it's on this list. And because it is a tinted moisturizer and not exactly, heavy coverage like how a regular foundation would be, I feel like I could get away with using this more. I could get away with using this on my face for a longer period of time because it's more sheer. Okay, moving on to the next two products, which are both from Bobbi Brown. It's the same line but different shades. So these are the Bobbi Brown Art Sticks in the shade Rose Brown and Rich Nude. So I originally had my eyes set on the NARS Velvet Matte lipsticks, but then I found out, or the lip pencils, but then I found out that the packaging is plastic and it's not wood, and I've been looking for like a wooden lip pencil that's kind of, more like a lipstick, and I found these. And these art sticks can also be used as blushes if you should so desire, and I guess also contour if you are pale enough, which I most definitely am not. But yeah, so I found out that these are more affordable. They are actually wooden packaging, and also they're bigger than the NARS. I think they're like almost twice as big or something like that. I have to double check. But yeah, so I'd get these two shades. One is more of a lighter brown, and the other one is more of a pink brown. And I believe it's darker too. I can't tell from this, from just looking at this tiny thumbnail on the screen, but I know one is more pink, which is probably the rose brown one, and then there's Rich Nude, which I think is actually lighter. Huh, interesting. They say that the perfect nude lip color is supposed to match your nipple, so I had my boyfriend double check for me, and I held up Velvet Teddy, and he said Velvet Teddy is too dark, so I'm going to try, I would try the Rich Nude lipstick. I'm actually debating getting it when I run out of my current nude lipsticks, just because it is something I'm trying to do, switch over from like plastic packaging to wooden packaging. So yeah, I would get these two colors, and I put two in here because it would help boost the amount of my shopping cart. I know you can only, you don't have to put two, you could just put one, but I would like these two colors, so yeah. Anyway, moving on to Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. So there's no color for this. It's just the one that cost $64. I believe it has dim light, and I don't remember the other two because I didn't really read past the word dim light. And I've always wanted to try Hourglass Powders, and I feel like this is perfect. It has 3 different shades, and they're all kind of small. And for me, I do go through highlighters very quickly. I do go through powders pretty quickly, but that's only because I'm using one at a time, and I'm very consistent about using it, and I use it daily. So I figured this would be like a good place to start with Hourglass Powders, because I don't want to just buy a full size and not like it. So this is just a perfect way to start trying out Hourglass. And I do prefer like bronzers as highlighters because they are more subtle, and I prefer powders as highlighters because they are more subtle. Like, I'm not really into flashy highlighters anymore. Moving down to Ciate London, I did also put 2 of the same line in my cart because, again, they're different colors and I really needed to get to $1,000. So this is the Ciate London Glow 2 highlighter. I've swatched these in the store and people say that these are blinding, but in the store they're not blinding. They're actually quite similar to, well, based off what I've tried right in the store, they're quite similar to my Too Faced Natural Lust bronzer, which is like a dual tone bronzer, and there's a satin bronzer in there and a matte bronzer, and I really like the satin bronzer as like an everyday highlighter. And I've been looking for a highlighter that has the same texture and look, I guess the same formula as that one. So these are the closest things I found. I actually found it on accident like a year and a half ago when I went shopping with my friend at Sephora, and I just swatched these and they were so nice. I'd get it in Starburst, which I believe is champagne, and then Celestial, which is a peach gold for summertime, and Starburst is more of a when I'm not so tan highlighter. Okay, moving down to this Too Faced Chocolate Gold eyeshadow palette. I had one of these before. It went bad on me. Like, it caused my tears to smell like metal, but I really, really, really loved this eyeshadow palette. It's my first ever high-end purchase. I know you can get it for half off. Like, what was that? You can get it for half off during the Ulta 21 Days of Sale. If I could talk. You can get these for half off during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale occasionally, and I think that's the next time I'm going to pick one up. I don't think I'm actually going to get it from Sephora unless Sephora has it for half off. Maybe they will. That'd be cool, but I'd still buy it from Ulta because Ulta has a better rewards program. Anyway, this eyeshadow palette, even though there's colors in here that I don't particularly love, I've been able to use every single color, and I love the formula of this palette. There's not a single bad formula in this palette. It is so good. It's like truly worth every penny you paid, and I don't think I actually paid full price for this. I did buy it when it first came out, like in 2017, and I had a 20% off coupon. But ever since I got rid of it, I've been just wanting it back. I miss it so much. It smelled nice. It worked fine. It was just so pretty, and I actually used it every day, which is kind of weird for such a metallic palette, like a party palette, but I really liked it, and I'm definitely going to get another one when I can for half off. Okay, next is the Too Faced Glitter Glue Eyeshadow Primer. I've never owned a glitter glue eyeshadow primer, but I'm hoping that this will make like my more metallic shades pop a bit. So I would just get one to try. I mean, if you have $1,000, like $1,000 gift card, why not? If I had $1,000 cash, there's no way I'd be spending it at Sephora. I would be saving that for like, to be honest, like school. So school's expensive. Okay, moving down to the Urban Decay All Nighter Face Primer. I originally had all my Urban Decay items grouped together, but then I forgot to put this with it, and then I took one out, and then I put it back at the end, so that's why it's out of order. I've heard really good things about this primer, especially if you have oily skin. So I have pretty oily skin. It's actually starting to get less oily, but I'm not getting drier, if that makes sense. It's just less oily. So anyway, I feel like this would be a good primer to try out. I mean, I love my Tatcha primer, but I want to see what this one's like, and then I'll decide for myself which one I would like keep as a holy grail. Maybe I'll keep both, use the Urban Decay in the summer and Tatcha every other season. I don't know. I really like the Tatcha one though. So we'll see if I actually do get one of these. Okay, moving down to the Huda Beauty Obsessions eyeshadow palette. This one's the Topaz one. So I actually have an eyeshadow palette that's pretty similar to this. It's the Too Faced Hot Buttered Rum palette, but that one has 8 shadows and this one has 9 shadows, And there are a few differences to it. Maybe the main reason why I thought these were the same were because the first, fourth, and the sixth eyeshadows look the same as the ones in... Wait, no, I think actually all the mattes, yeah, pretty much all of the mattes in the Huda Beauty palette are in the Hot Buttered Rum palette, and because I have the Hot Buttered Rum palette, I don't think I'm getting this palette anytime soon, but I mean, I would buy it if I had like $1,000 gift card, right? So I also prefer Huda's formula over Too Faced's formula, but if you ask me to compare like the new Nudes palette to the Chocolate Gold palette, I would pick the Chocolate Gold palette just because new Nudes, I feel like there's, of course the formula is nice, but I don't really like the non-matte formula in that palette, other than the pearlized eyeshadow in there. But yeah, okay. It comes because I feel like Huda's formula is very consistent and it's very like consistently good, but Too Faced is like kind of a, I don't know what the hell they did with Chocolate Gold to make it so good, but nothing has ever measured up to that palette. Okay, anyway, that long spiel over. I'm gonna move on to the next palette, which is a Pat Mcgrath Labs palette. This palette, because it cost $125, definitely helped me reach the $1,000 mark. This is the Mothership 8, I think that's 8, Artistry eyeshadow palette in the Divine Rose 2 collection. I was reading the comments for this and someone was like, I really wish you would stop putting the same like cream and brown shade in every single one of her palettes, and they were talking about these two, and I was like, what are they talking about? And when I went and looked, they were right. It pretty much has those same two in every single one of her palettes, but this one was the one that like really spoke to me. I am a sucker for duochrome eyeshadows because I have monolids, and when you have monolids, you wake up with a different like situation to work with every day. Like your eyelids are not even. You might have a double lid on one eye, but then a monolid on the other. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating the facts. And so if you have monolids and you use like a duochrome all over your lid, it definitely, I don't know what it is, but it like does something to it. Does something to it that makes it just look brighter. I don't know how to explain it, but duochromes definitely work well on, I guess if you had double lids it works well on you too, but I feel like it works especially well on you if you have monolids. Like you just swipe it all over your lid and you're good to go. But yeah, there's one duochrome in here that I see. I don't think the rest of them are, but I'd really like to try out her formula, and there's no way I'd pay full price for this, just saying. I think $125 for 10 eyeshadows is way overpriced. I say that and I want a sugar pill palette, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, this is the only one that really stood out to me. The other ones, the colors, I felt like I wouldn't use half of them, but this one, I would. And I needed something that was expensive in my cart, so that's why I added it. Okay, going on to Viseart. This is the, oh god, April, Spritz eyeshadow palette. Is it French? I know Viseart's from France. So they don't have the other Spritzer palette. I forgot what it's called, but the one that's more peachy and just came out. Maybe it is just called the Spritz palette. I don't remember. This has shades that I would use. I feel like I already have this color story in my collection, but I would like to try out Viseart's formula, and this is so cute. I feel like I could definitely hit pan on this, like get my money's worth out of this palette and still be able to try Viseart's eyeshadow palettes. I know this palette is tiny, but I feel like it's just perfect because, I mean, who has ever used up a full eyeshadow palette, right? I can barely hit pan. It takes me months to hit pan on an eyeshadow. And so for $39, I'd rather pay, more per gram or ounce and be able to get my money's worth out of a product instead of spending less per gram on more bulk items and not being able to use up that item, if that makes sense. I'd rather spend more money than waste more product. Okay, moving on to these two perfumes that I shoved in my shopping cart because I could not spend this definitely helped. This is almost $300 together. It's $284. And so I would try the Jo Malone Silk Blossom Cologne. The notes in here are definitely something that I'm interested in. Of course, there's Silk Blossom, but there's also white pepper and moss. And I like more of a naturey scent. More floral, less spice-based scents what is it, vanilla. I don't like the smell of fake vanilla, so walking into a Bath and Body Works around the fall time just overwhelms me with scents. I would say I have a pretty strong nose because my eyesight and my hearing are terrible, so I need to make up for it in some way. So I have a pretty good nose, and anyway, so I prefer more floral and fresh scents over chocolate, pumpkin. I do like some fruit scents. As you can see, I also got the Orange Blossom Cologne, but I'd say for the most part I'm pretty picky. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the Orange Blossom Cologne down here. I have gotten a sample of this. I've tried it in store. I really like it. Originally, I was going to get some type of honeysuckle scent, but then when I smelled this one, I was like, ooh, I'm getting this one instead. So I have a sample of it somewhere, but I really like this scent, and it comes in 2 sizes, but I just put in the $140 version so I could, again, reach $1,000 more easily. But in real life, if I were to buy this, I would only buy the 1 ounce spray because it takes me forever to go through fragrance, and I wear fragrance every day. I'm pretty consistent about it. My godmother gave me a perfume sampler for my birthday, and I've been working on the same bottle for a month, and I think I've only used up, I'm looking at it right now, I think I've used up not even a centimeter of it, and it's a small sized bottle too. So yeah, I think that the full size, even though it's a better deal, like I said earlier, I'd rather spend more money than get a better deal and waste product. So yeah, I would just get the 1 fluid ounce, and this one does not, the Silk Blossom does not come in the 1 fluid ounce option, so I had no choice but to put the $144 option in the cart. Anyway, okay, moving on to the Milk makeup stuff. I would get the Kush Lip Balm in Nug and Bubble. So I believe Nug is, this one's warm, a warm peach color with some gold in it. And then Bubble is more of a neutral rose color. And I do have a Kush Lip Balm in the shade Green Dragon, which is basically their clear lip balm. Even though it's green, it doesn't come off as any color on your lips, and I really like it. It doesn't feel like a lip balm. It just feels so luxurious. It tastes good. It's not waxy. I hate Carmex. I hate Blistex, and this is nothing like either one of those. So that's why and I also have the Pride version, the limited edition Pride color, which is that one's white with sprinkles in it or something. But yeah, I would definitely pick these up. I love this lip balm, and I'm normally really picky about my lip balms, but this, oh my god, I'm so glad I tried it. It's a bit expensive, and I've paid full price every single time I bought one of these, but I think it's worth it for like what it does for your lips. And the only reason I've been able to get Green Dragon is because it's not color, so I don't consider it as makeup. Even though this does say that it's a lip balm. There's still color into it, so I would consider these ones makeup. Okay, moving on to... We're almost done. So moving on to Supergoop. I would get this matte screen sunscreen SPF 40. So like I said earlier, I'm pretty terrible about using sunscreen. So I feel like and I want to wear more sunscreen. I want to wear sunscreen that's, you know, not terrible for the environment and is also good for my skin, especially since I wear a lot or wear makeup a lot. I've read the reviews and it says that this is not good with like foundation, which, like I said earlier, is not a problem because I don't wear foundation at the moment. So I feel like if I were to wear the Bare Minerals tinted moisturizer, I would just wear it on top of my other primer instead of using this sunscreen. But I have oily skin, I need a mattifying sunscreen, and with this I would just put powder on top. I would just basically use it as a primer instead of treating it like a sunscreen. So yeah, I read good reviews. I keep hearing good reviews about this brand. I used to think that it was associated with Goop, which is, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow's Jesus, I don't know her last name, but anyway, that crazy lady. I used to think that it was associated with her, and I was like, I don't think I want to get anything from this, but I don't think it is. Let me just double check really quickly. No, it's not. Okay, so, yeah, I feel much more comfortable about getting this. Okay, and then these are two items at the bottom of my cart that I put in just to make the $1,000. But this is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I do have one, but I'm running out, so I would go and get it, like right now, if I could. And apparently this is considered hazmat. Like, how is the fragrance not considered hazmat? I don't understand. So yeah, I think if I were to get one of these though, I would just go to the store to get it. I think my Ulta opened up recently. Might have closed again because our state is experiencing spikes in cases, but whose isn't, to be honest. The US is doomed. I really like this primer potion. I'm working on my second tube of it. The first tube I had was a travel size, and I didn't wear makeup every day, so I didn't use it all the time. But now that I wear makeup every day, I pretty much used this up. Well, not up completely, but I'm definitely struggling to get a product now. The thing with this eyeshadow primer is that it does nothing for longevity of eyeshadows. I don't know why, but even though my lids are oily, they are super oily. The eyeshadow will stay on all day. I've rarely experienced creasing, so that is really strange. But for some strange reason, when I used the ABH eyeshadow primer, because I had a sample of it, I creased so bad, and I was like really annoyed with it, and I was like, screw you, ABH. And I yeeted that thing into the trash can, but this one doesn't do that. So the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, while it doesn't do anything for longevity, it thankfully doesn't crease my eyeshadows, and it makes them more vibrant. So I need to use way less eyeshadow, which means less fallout. So yeah, I really like this eyeshadow primer potion for that, and I'll continue to buy it for the rest of my life. Urban Decay makes such good, like, longevity products, like their setting spray. I'm on my 4th bottle of it. I have 3 more as backups. And then the last item I put in my cart is the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm in the color Peach. So I've had my eye on this since last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year. And I wanted to get it, but because I considered it to be a lip gloss, I didn't actually get it. But I'm looking a lot of these and it just says lip balm and I'm confused, but these are colored, so it's not like it's a clear color, so that makes it more difficult. But hey, this year I'll be able to get it, and I think I'm not sure if I'm gonna pick it up though, because of the packaging. I'm definitely trying to be more conscious about the packaging that I use, so I'm switching over to like pencil packaging, especially from products that I use up very quickly, like brow pencils is one of them. Lip liners is another one. Lipstick, is another one. Like, I don't use up lipstick that fast, but if you think about the amount you need to throw out every time you use, every time a lipstick goes bad, that's a lot of plastic. But yeah, anyway, that's everything, and it says would cost $1,000 and $1,005. You know.